community. Helping the voiceless, they can't speak for themselves, just really helping any dogs, cats out of any bad situations they're in. Dogs come in, they don't know anyone, they don't know where they are. It's honestly the most horrible day of their life.
A big part of working here is we want to educate people. We don't really like judging people if they're on a different page with how to help an animal.
These animals know that they're in a shelter for a reason, and when they choose the person they want to go home to, their whole demeanor changes.
We don't like seeing empty kennels because that means that there's an animal out there that we know that we could help.
Mr. Fox opened the shelter in 1965. We were an all-animal rescue, so we had birds, foxes, owls, reptiles. We had about anything you can think of.
3 years ago, our foster program had 5 fosters. We are up to over 250 fosters today.
We're non-government funded, so we run strictly off donations. Sometimes we struggle with our donations, sometimes we don't. It really just depends on the status of the community.
We went to a no-kill shelter about 7 years ago. The expense of going to the no-kill shelter was over the top. So fundraising is a big topic for us right now. We do a good job, but it is one of our biggest struggles here.
When I first started, I would sit in the parking lot and literally cry for about 10 minutes.
It's hard for your mental health, but it's really good for your mental health. When you work in an environment that is high stress, between medical cases, neglect cases, seeing the animals and seeing them recover and seeing how happy they are makes a huge difference.
So we get the dogs all from different kinds of situations, whether they're found on the streets, they're strays, transfers from other rescues, home surrenders, dogs that have lived in homes before and just need a place to crash until they find their next home.
The hardest part, it's probably dealing with the surrenders. I was surrender coordinator for about a year. And going through surrenders and seeing people have to give up their animals, whether or not it's because they're sick or they're moving, or if it's a reason that obviously is not a reason to give up your animal, it's still hard to see the animal look for them when they leave. It's pretty heart-wrenching sometimes.
Personally, struggles that I deal with in the building is definitely getting too attached to the animals. It's a struggle for a lot of us. There are some dogs that I still think about that I met 5 years ago that I hope are doing really good.
My whole life I've liked animals more than people. I know it seems like a pretty blunt answer, but they're much better than dealing with the public most of the time.
Sometimes there are animals on the property that people have dumped.
Bojack and his brother were actually chained to our fence outside of the shelter. We actually had to call animal control to get them off the fence because we didn't know if they were aggressive. We didn't know. It was extremely stressful situation. Now they're doing pretty good.
All of us wear many hats. If you were to ask one single person what they do, they wouldn't give you one answer. It gets a little chaotic, but we thrive in the chaos in a good way.
Throughout the day, I do answer the door. We get donations brought in. We take those donations back into large storage. We get them looked at, washed. We do laundry, we do dishes, we mop the floors, anything that needs to be done.
Regular people can help by coming in and volunteering, getting these dogs out of their kennels, spreading the word about our shelters, and by bringing in donations such as money or items, cat food, dog food, cat litter, cleaning supplies, gloves, anything like that to help with the shelter.
Even donating something simple as a can of wet food, anything helps really.
The more that's shared, the more we're out there, the more animals can go home. Share our events, try to get us more publicity so that way more people can see what we're doing, more people can adopt, more people can donate, which goes towards caring for the animals.
If you'd like to help too, contact the Humane Society of Macomb at 586-731-9210.